Thank you, Yoshida-san. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to RUSI and the Sasakawa Peace Foundation for inviting us to speak at this conference, which is perfectly timed following the collaboration and security agreements signed by the UK and Japan on the 4th of July this year. It is a delight and honor to be here to address such an esteemed audience. I will be presenting with Rolls-Royce customer and collaborator Christine Zietz of BAE Systems, a British perspective on the future of UK-Japan defence equipment cooperation, based on the many years of experience that both of our companies and we personally have. We shall explore the strong links that are required between government and industry, particularly for the development and procurement of defence equipment, and shall identify several key points which we believe are fundamental for creating, nurturing, and benefiting from collaborative ventures. When I started working in Japan for Westland Helicopters some 17 years ago, I was part of the team which achieved the sale of EH-101 to the Japanese Navy, which is said to be the first purchase of a British military platform by the Japanese Ministry of Defense since the Mikasa in 1896. Patient British diplomacy, combined with careful Japanese decision-making, did ultimately result in a good selection decision, even if it did take more than a century. The key factors in the successful sale of EH-101 in 2003 were the formation of a partnership of equals between Westland and Kawasaki Heavy Industries, who are the licensee for the aircraft and the engine, and the involvement of the UK's DSO and the Royal Navy and Royal Air Force in providing similar practical support to that which the Japanese Navy were used to receiving. That UK government support continues today. The helicopter has established itself as a highly capable favourite in the JMSDF, and the partnership with KHI has flourished, and the future looks good. I should point out that although KHI are licensee, they have used their experience of the airborne minesweeping role by the CH-46 helicopter to make the necessary aircraft and role equipment modifications to perform this difficult and unique task. Other navies around the world with an airborne minesweeping requirement are now considering MCH-101, off-the-shelf solution developed by the UK and Japan, a possible early collaboration export, and one that is designed to NATO standards, so interoperable with Western allies around the world, a huge market. 9 years ago, Rolls-Royce persuaded me to join them as president of their modest office of 3 people in Kasumi Gaseki Building, Tokyo, where they have been since it opened as Japan's first skyscraper 45 years ago. I was encouraged to find that Rolls-Royce had already established partnerships with Kawasaki Heavy Industries and IHI, using the risk and revenue sharing partnership model, where the Japanese partner invests in the new Trent engine and shares the risk if it happens to be a market failure, or revenue if it's a success, which is by far the usual case. The investment by the Japanese partner is not just financial, but technical know-how in their specialist area. In the case of KHI, compressors, and IHI, shafts. Due to a good understanding of the worldwide market and the right access to it, most of our Trent engines have sold well globally. The partners have benefited as sole suppliers, and the partnership has flourished, building on the foundation of mutual trust. More recently, my company has added Mitsubishi Heavy Industries for combustors and turbine blades, and Sumitomo Precision Products for heat exchangers to our Japanese risk revenue sharing partners team. And all partners have been involved in the last 6 Trent engine variants launched, which include the Trent 1000 in the Boeing 787 and the Trent XWB in the Airbus A350 XWB. Our best-selling and most efficient engine ever, no doubt due to the world-leading technology that our Japanese partners and suppliers have contributed to the 20% share of the engines that they supply. We are proud that METI cites Rolls-Royce as one of the best collaborators with the Japanese aerospace industry, and that we have enjoyed the benefit of 2 METI-sponsored Japan national projects so far. Over the last 9 years, Rolls-Royce is proud to have achieved more than $5 billion in sales in Japan and purchased approximately $5 billion from its Japanese partners and suppliers. The power and value of partnership has been proven to be of mutual and equal benefit, and the business continues to grow with trust. Rolls-Royce Japan has expanded from 3 employees to 70 in that time, and our 4 partners in Japan have each built new factories and hired new employees to support the sales growth that the 2 latest Trent engines have enjoyed. This example from the world of commercial aerospace illustrates 2 important points: that companies can benefit from collaborating where the strengths of each of the industrial companies involved are exploited and complement each other, and that a large and well-understood market is needed to make the business case for the launch of successful programs. Now turning to defense, Rolls-Royce, in fact, has an even longer association with Japanese industry. Rolls-Royce and Kawasaki Heavy Industries in September 2012 celebrated 50 years of working together, which started with the Orpheus jet engine for the JASDF's T1 trainer. In addition to KHI, Rolls-Royce has worked with IHI and MHI, the same heavy industry partners we now know so well for our commercial engine business, and for a wide portfolio of military gas turbines, agreed licenses, and for final assembly test and support of our engines. That strategy has made Rolls-Royce the supplier of most of the Japan MOD's gas turbines, but in reality, the relationship is not as deep as in our civil sector, with no joint R&D and production because regulations limited the market to Japan only, with no exports possible until now. So when I started hearing rumors in 2010 that the Japanese government was considering relaxing this export constraint, I became hopeful. When it actually happened in December 2011, I was delighted. And when the Prime Ministers of Japan and the UK announced in April 2012 an intent to collaborate on defense equipment, followed by an agreement being signed in July this year, I was ecstatic. For now, the legal framework that prevented Rolls-Royce's defense sector's collaboration being as deep as its civil sector collaboration is set favorably. My colleagues in Rolls-Royce's defense, aerospace, and naval marine businesses immediately intensified their discussions with our already established Japanese partners about projects they'd been planning the previous 2 years. And we hope that both governments pick up one of Rolls-Royce and its Japanese partners' proposals soon. However, I personally don't think that this push approach is the most efficient way, since industry is second-guessing the customer's need. I would suggest that both governments should be pulling by identifying the common requirements to meet common threats, just in the NBC suits example, and issuing a non-prescriptive basic specification that they want industry to satisfy. This is in essence how the UK and the US develops its defense capability now, and maybe a new approach for Japan. Yoshida-san mentioned that Rolls-Royce did take the decision, actually last year, to transfer half of the maritime spay engine that KHI didn't make to Kawasaki Heavy Industries. So they in the near future, will have 100% capability to make that engine. Why? Because actually the Japanese Navy operate more maritime spay engines than the Royal Navy, and KHI have great capability to manufacture sustainably and support better and more closely our Japanese Navy customer. So the themes of complementary industrial capability and understanding the market, as shown in my civil engine example, can become equally important in fostering deeper collaboration in our defense engine activities. To secure approval for investment, industry needs to know the potential size of the market before launching expensive research and development programs, even if partially funded by the governments. We all have shareholders to answer to, and projects must ultimately be profitable. A market size of only our two countries for defense equipment is unlikely to be big enough nowadays to recoup costs while selling at an affordable price. We cannot work out the business case without knowing the potential market size. So I believe we need to know which countries on the white list of acceptable third country markets now, not at the stage when we launch the sales campaign. Japan has already done this for the F-35 parts it will make, so it seems that the principle is already accepted, but requires wider application. This may need further relaxation of the Japanese legislation, of course, which seems to be under consideration. And in what ways can the UK and Japan complement each other in the area of defense? Well, Rolls-Royce has found that Japanese industry has world-beating materials, electronics, miniaturization, fuel-saving and production technologies, to name but a few. Whilst the UK also has many fine technical capabilities, it also has an established defense industry with many foreign customers enjoying advanced technology products, proven in combat, and supported by an international aftermarket infrastructure. The UK understands how to meet the customer's offset requirements and how to win intense competitions with firm fixed price bids. It strikes me that the logic for two such compatible defense industries working together on future defense equipment collaboration is very strong, especially when end users are demanding more capability for less money, or to put it in terms that we understand in Japan and the UK, more bang for their yen or pound. I would now like to hand over to my customer and collaborator from BAE Systems, Christine Zietz, who, through further important examples of collaboration, will highlight two important considerations.